All right, JoshCast not live due to financial problems. Well, not exactly. I quit a job, but I could have had money for mobile live streaming. Just can't see the chat, but watch this anyway and enjoy it. I'm here with Willie Fritz. Bill Miller ghosted me today. You guys believe it? I texted him on 2 days ago, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about these topics?" He said, "Sounds good." He sent me a meme, and then today I texted him to reconfirm, and not a text back.
He's going to be a dad soon.
He's going to be a dad.
This.
He's going to be a dad. Last night he was at an open mic till like 12, 1 in the morning in the city. But that's probably what drained him, I guess.
That was his fun thing. Now he's got to do his dad thing.
Yeah.
Pre-ordering some formula.
And by the way, he's having twins, and one of the topics we were going to do, his wife's having twins, was we're going to come up with twin names. One of the twin names I came up with was Danny and Arnold DeVito Miller.
Oh, yes.
Based on the movie Twins.
Yes.
Also, Bill Miller had some twin names. What was the joke? Let's go to the phone here. And Bill said something that is, John Rambo Miller. He said that to his wife, and she said no. That's not a twin reference, but still a good thing. But yeah, twins, that means he has good sperm. I don't know if that means you have good sperm. You can make 2 babies, right? In one shot?
I forget, that's the difference between what? Fraternal twins are the ones that one egg makes the other do like a keg stand, dies in utero.
Well, Bill was doing a joke on stage. He goes, "Every time I pull out, my wife gives me dirty looks." So I guess he finally left it in there. But I was doing a bit about him and another comedian we know named John Rice. And John Rice he's another guy. He's different personality. He's a party animal. He likes to do. He lives right up the street here, and he's always high. And he likes to do drink. He'll like order a shot, and the bartender's like, "There's another shot right there already." He goes, "Oh, okay, just give me another shot." He'll take the shot and then drink the other shot with the beer. He takes about 3-4 shots and gets really drunk. Except he's never drunk, he never feels it. And the fact that those 2 guys are going to be fathers shows that this whole world is just about that. It's just about reproducing. That's our whole purpose. It doesn't matter. What you do in life. Doesn't matter if you're poor, rich. Just knock somebody up, You don't have to take care of them even. Just give them away, adopt them, That's the purpose of life, right? It seems like it. I don't know. What do you think the meaning of life is?
Well, reproducing is a purpose, but also though you can just be like a lot of famous people and be like narcissistic and be like, no, it's about my legacy, me being the star. I'm not going to let some child steal my glory, but that seems to be, even people that have kids, that seems to be a little bit of it. Yeah, he's my slugger. He's gonna be a great sport ball player.
Yeah.
The draft.
Yeah, Doug Stanhope has one of the best bits. He's anti-kids, and he goes, "Oh yeah, you just want to have kids so that way when you get old, you don't have to mow your own lawn." And he goes, "If you had a kid that was adopted and he hit a home run in the World Series, you would feel half as proud because you would be like, that's my boy." Well, sort of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he does the whole bit. And he goes, "I don't want to have kids because I want to moon fraternity girls outside of a cab, and I don't want to have these problems." He goes,
that was a big part of it. Like before. People were employing other people or enslaving other people, they would just have a shitload of kids and then divide the work among them, thinking too having more kids will produce more food, not thinking you gotta feed the bastards and stuff.
Sometimes the poorest families have the most kids, like the Wayne's family, the Wayne's brothers, there's like 13 kids in that family.
Are they poor?
Well, they grew up poor. They said they slept on the same mattresses, like 3 or 4 or 5 in one mattress. Like they were like real poor. They're not poor now, obviously. They're something rich, you would say.
But that's also, I do think there is truth though in whenever somebody has the one kid, you always get some weirdo parent that's just like, oh, the next one will be even easier. Like they're assuming you have another one, but they're right in the sense that basically it's like you got a free babysitter, and the first kid is always the test kid. I'm the first. I'm the oldest child, so we had no money for me growing up, but the sisters they got all the stuff. And
well, I'm the baby of the family. I'm the baby, and pretty much we were kind of poor. Before we moved to this part of Northeast. I grew up about 15 minutes from where we live now. The area is called Margaret Orthodox. It's like we lived a block from the projects, and we lived in this dirty shack house filled with roaches. We had a huge roach problem. I slept on the same mattress as my mom and my brother. My mom would sleep at the edge, and me and my brother would have our stinky feet in our face, and my dad slept on a cot next to us, and he would fart, his disgusted loud Polish farts. And I slept in the same room as my mom, my dad, and my brother until I was like almost 14 years old, and then I finally got my own room, and I couldn't believe it. Like when I woke up the first day in our new suburban house and I had my own room, I was like, I couldn't believe I slept by myself. And when I took a shower, like we had a bathtub, disgusting bathtub, green looking bacteria water, and so you take your first shower, you're like, whoa, this is how white people live. This is great. We can live like white people.
Not all.
Not all. It's true.
Although I think we had a little bit better. Yeah, I grew up in the fancier part of Philadelphia, Kensington. Maybe you heard of it.
Yeah.
But my dad's dad basically put the money down for the house. So like, you know, just like these millennials today, my dad didn't have to work for it. His dad just buys them a house.
There you go.
But then they had 3 of us, and had to work and pay for all that stuff. And but it was, I basically left home when I was in second or third year of high school, and then things got easier for my sisters because there was one less financial burden in the house. And then the other sister ran away from home, and then my little sister was like totally pampered, and also like my mom then went and worked, so like 2 parent incomes on one child, and she's a spoiled turd. So there is something to be said about having a couple kids and humbling them, but then again, like they could just still grow up to be like bitter turds.
Well, the only reason why we were able to afford the house is because my sister, she got burned when she was a kid, like not really bad, but she had a scar on her face. And she had insurance money, and for some reason, I don't know how my parents found the loophole. When she turned 18, or when she turned 21, she got like this huge settlement check. So she decided to move us all out. So when my parents told me we were moving, I thought they were full of shit, because they were saying that my mom always played the lottery. My mom was one of those poor people that she never had money for food, but she always had money for lottery. And my dad, a Polish guy who kind of talks Puerto Rican, would be like, "You stupid fucking bitch! You're not buying a kid fucking food. You're fucking gambling. I'm fucking starving, eating canned fucking beans, busting my..." Because my dad worked in a furniture shop for 23 years, but with his big Polish hands, making $5 an hour all the way till $15 an hour. Guy didn't have his even high school diploma. So my dad's like, "I'm fucking starving, eating canned fucking beans. You fucking bitch. And you fucking run up the street, fucking gambling." You could tell he wanted to hit her, but he tried not to. He was a gentleman. He would hit her when the kids running around. So it wasn't for my sister. We never would have moved out. And when I moved out, I didn't care at all, because the area I lived wasn't that bad. But then I got my bike stolen. Not by a kid, by a man. A man sucker punched me, knocked me out cold, stole my bike. Then the next day in school, for some reason, jumping kids became popular, because I went to like an all-black school. It was like in the project. So I was walking home, and like this kid punched me upside my head. And luckily they were all play hitting me, but the one kid that first hit me punched me hard. So I got mugged 2 days in a row. And I didn't tell my parents about the second part, but you know what the worst part is? When I got my bike stolen, I snuck the bike out of the house. You know your parents are right about something, they tell you don't go out, and then you don't listen to them, and something bad happens, they're like, "We told you not to go out." So I had to go through that, and my mom, she got a bike for me. It was a nice trick bike. It had big pegs on it and everything, and it was a more expensive bike she didn't want to buy. And I knew it wasn't going to last long. I should have took it out the house, but I did. So it was one of those things where I told you not to take the bike out. So that happened. And by the way, that was the first time I thought of a black person as that word. Because when I was a kid, my dad used to say that word, and it would make me cringe before I guess turned racist. But then when that happened, I got so angry. I had no choice but to think of that guy as that word. Because I was like, now I'm going to go home, and now I got to tell my mom my bike stolen. Plus on top of that, I wasn't supposed to have the bike out. So, anyways, so when we moved to Northeast here, I didn't miss anybody. I was like, yeah, let's get out of here, because it wasn't that bad. Then my neighbors across the street, this is something I realized later, when Bill Clinton was president, remember he passed this sort of Section 8 bill, where Section 8 people can get some sort of they can get houses for like without putting much down payment on or something,
Yeah,
something like that. So these kids from these ghettos would like live across the street from us, and they robbed my next door neighbors. They used to be friends with me. They even took his toilet seat. Imagine they took his toilet seat, folks. So the neighborhood was just getting real shit. You know, kids were jumping kids. It was just getting bad.
So, this was the Northeast, or
no, this was Margaret Orthodox.
Oh yeah.
So so the area used to be not bad, and then it just got shit. And I moved out that year. We got lucky. It was like time to go. We packed up our roach-infested items, and we moved here to Mayfair. Good old Mayfair, home of John Kenzel and McGonigal, great Philadelphia comedians that have been doing it for 20, 30 years, that unfortunately have not gotten their fame because they live around here, not in the city. Because in this city, in order to get any kind of like credit, you got to live in Old City or Center City.
I think John Kensel's on IMDb though, because he appeared in
King of Queens
and How I Met Your Mother.
He was in LA. He was doing well, but his parents got sick. Not to give out his personal business, and then he had to come back and take care of him. So who knows, man? That guy could have been, not to say the next whoever, but the guy, maybe he didn't even have his own sitcom, but he could have been a fucking, you know?
Your family's just holding you back. You get an agent, you go out to LA.
Your parents get sick of whatever, you just let them die.
They're dead to you. You change your name. He's not John Kensel, he's John King.
How bad do you want it, is the question. But yeah, so you just had a job interview, and I already talked about this on the last episode of JoshCast. Not the one we did live, the one after.
Okay.
I already told him what happened. I told you guys that, but just in case, I worked one day for 8.5 hours, and the job wasn't that bad. It was very easy. I just want to stand on my feet, and that's one of the reasons why I might be successful in life. Like, there's no such thing as a perfect job. You know, we all can't be like lucky enough to get a job that's like $20 an hour. You just sit there. Like, some people have a job like that, you know. But it's not that I want to sit out all day. I don't mind standing, but for all day, you know. And I just quit. And because if I would have worked there at least for the week, I could at least afford it one more month of live streaming, and we would have been live right now, which is fine. We can.
I still, the dream is out there. You can still chase it. Go back to keep getting back into the government jobs you had, because
that's what I would love to do.
I mean, you see like who works at the DMV,
absolutely,
post office, and my mom works with the IRS. And I have to hear about, I remember she mentioned this whole thing of the union leaders telling them, because they're government workers and still have a union too, so there's that extra security that like you can still totally screw up, like you're unfireable once you've been there a year and you're in the union. But they were telling them, it's like, part of the negotiations was, at your cubicle, you can still have like your mini fridge and a microwave, but we gotta get rid of the hot plate. It's a safety concern. And people, whoa, and I had to like stop my mom and be like, well, wait, we need mini fridge and a microwave per cubicle. And she's like, like people live in these cubicles, and they're just like, you talk about like you being bad, not being on your feet. There are people that eat themselves into like dead legs.
Oh, absolutely.
Just there, they want to just reach and turn around and like microwave microwave a mac and cheese, and then use the hot plate and heat up like a little pot pie or something. And meanwhile, this is all on one outlet that also has the computer with all your tax information and Social Security. And it's just like, this is an outrage. What are we paying our union dues for?
Absolutely, and the reason why I know is because when you worked in mail, which I've done before, you walk around and you see some of these people and they sit down, and not only do they eat like breakfast and lunch, which is like, okay, you work an 8.5 hour day, but they have snacks in between. So they have popcorn, they have chocolate, they have tasty cakes, they have sodas on top of their desk, and then on top of like, I'm gonna go out and get some Chinese food, and they come out, and me, I can't make fun of anybody, as you can tell, I obviously overeat. But at least this one dude I worked with, we were an administrative team, so we had to go around, change the water coolers, change the paper. He was like, he's like, I actually like this job because we get to walk around. You see some of these people? They sit down all day and all they do is eat. And some people, and like one lady in one department, she like passed out in the summertime just for being too hot. Obviously, she wasn't working too hard.
She mentioned that too, that they had to do a fire drill. And they don't even do one like once a year. Like, it's a complicated building. You should be able to know whether in a fire drill or a terrorist attack, like you got to be able to get out of that building. And there were people that were like trying to bring in medical notes, like my doctor says I don't have to participate in fire drills, and then they're like, no, that's bullshit. Everybody out, like, and they did this in January or December, so it was cold. And again, you have to stand outside for a little bit, but again, you're getting paid to not work and stand out there. And they already had warnings, so they could also bring their coat. But most of them didn't want the coat because they're overheating out there. Because you have to use the stairs in the fire drill. And yeah, like I think they did have to, same thing, like call an ambulance or something for somebody that was just like,
yeah.
Like just disgusting.
Yeah, it is.
Your tax dollars hard at work.
Yeah, so like I said, I applied for a job today that was $17 an hour. It's a male job. Obviously qualified for it, but I have no chance of probably getting it. They'll probably give it to a veteran or somebody of a certain gender, of color, or sexual orientation. I don't have, but hey, listen, I put the application in, so we'll see.
What do you check? Do you check other? Or
Well, yeah, this is confusing. So apparently what I am is based on what I'm told, which could be a lie, is I'm half Hispanic and half white. So it's so weird on a job application. It says Hispanic, it would say Hispanic or Latino or something. It would say check this. Oh yeah, if you put mixed race, it says in parentheses not Hispanic or Latino. So that means you can't be a mixed Hispanic person or something, you know? But then it says, so you can put Hispanic, Caucasian, mixed, or other.
Yeah.
So I usually just put other.
Yeah.
And to me, it's like, if you're an other, they think it'd be like as a terrorist or an alien or something.
They probably think you're a liberal white girl that's just like, I'm going to do this because it helps support and raises government funding for Native Americans. Which that is also something told that's like, whenever those questions are there, check Native American because it helps put funding towards them and they're the least funded group. It's like, I don't think this is, going to the government and they're going to be like, oh, well, we got to do something. This job application for McDonald's.
Yeah, we talked about job interviews earlier, and to me, one of the worst parts about a job interview is putting a tie on my fat neck. I'm not sure if I said that the last one. Because when you got me the job at your place, you have to put the suit on. So okay, I don't know about putting the suit. So you have to get the top button up, right? The top button is the worst. And I remember sucking in my fat neck like, and you're trying to like put it on, and then so when at the job interview, last one I had, I just left the top button unbuttoned, which doesn't look right, and I just put the tie on because I was like, fuck it.
I mean, you can
do it.
You can get close to it, but yeah, it's also, I mean, I think I've done that before myself because I'll shave before the job interview and it always seems to fall on the day like just after I shaved, so I'll get razor burn. Like right now I look like, I don't know, I've got I got a rash, nasty rash here, pink eye, conjunctivitis of the neck. And yeah, like it'll get extra inflamed having the top button there, and yeah, it's a pain. I was told though that it's a pretty casual environment there. Like most people are wearing a polo shirt and some jeans, so pretty easy stuff if I get that one. But
you have to wear a name tag?
Nope, not even. Cool. I'll be in the warehouse. I'll be lifting the boxes. I'm just one of the guys.
There you go. Boys will be boys. Oh yeah, you can't say that anymore. Feminist Nazi cunts will come after you. According to that Gillette commercial. Remember? That's a lot of those commercials. Boys will be boys.
But they already went back on that so quick though, because as people were talking about that, and I didn't even see the commercial, the first thing coming into my news feed was about Gillette, an outrage over Gillette using a plus-size model, and it looks like Jenny McCarthy in a fat suit pretending to be Melissa McCarthy, and she's like, in a bikini with rolls, and then you have, I guess, outrage from I don't know, the patriarchy or MGTOWs or.
Speaking of MGTOW, I recently just put out a video. I stopped posting on my my MGTOW channel. Got to about like a little over 2,000 subs, which is cool. I don't care about the number of subs, by the way. When I hit 1,000 after that, I was like, I don't care. But I put out a video saying I'm not going to be posting much on the MGTOW channel because some of the MGTOW community have shunned me. They're like, there's new rules to be in MGTOW apparently. You have to have your own place. You got to be in good shape. Some of these guys are like, you're making us look bad, man. Your weight's terrible, and
You sound like Chads.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's why I said like some of these guys are either just trolls or some of them are like their purple pill term means like they're guys who know about there's different types of pills. There's black pill, purple pill, blue pill, and red pill. So let's go through these pills because Willie Fritz loves this stuff. Blue pill is just a guy like you, just a guy looking for love, looking for a girl, nothing wrong with that, right?
Okay.
Purple pill is a guy who like knows about female nature, but he still looks for sex and stuff like that. But he's like kind of in the middle. Red pill is like guys who are just like angry, like me. Because usually I'm red pill rage, they call it. And then black pill are guys who are also unattractive that know they're unattractive, like me. So I qualify for red pill and black pill because I know my looks that hold me back. Because I approach 500 to 1,000 females, and for the most part, I got some makeouts, got some dates, but didn't get it in, So,
but even like DJ Khaled's got a wife, and he doesn't even go down on her.
yeah,
so
that's true.
There's hope.
But yeah, he also has about millions and millions of dollars. He has status. They call it LMS. You know what that stands for? Looks, money, status.
But he doesn't have the
He doesn't have looks, but he has money and status. So sometimes if you have 2 for 3.
He has a look. That's the other thing too. Like I think you could just, you're funny enough and you can steal DJ Khaled's look. Like remember when you were darkening in that?
Yeah.
You just get that again. Start wearing a uniform tracksuit and stuff.
Yeah. Well, there's some cool mix out there. I still got about maybe 20 guys on this channel who still. So what I've been doing to be cheap now, since I'm not doing mobile live streaming, I still went out to Old City this past Saturday, but I just recorded the video instead of going live, and then I just put the video together.
Yeah.
Because it's so fun to read the chat, but to pay $150 when you don't have the money, it's like, it's too much. So anyways, let's talk about the recent podcast, not to mention it. The Passive Aggressive Hour, they did their 200th episode recently, and they're like, John Kensel was like, and this is inside, guys, but he's like, yeah, I think we're the longest running podcast. And it's like, yeah, okay, first of all, I'm at 300, and these aren't quality podcasts. I'm a quantity guy, not a quality guy. 372 right now, and then I've been doing a podcast since 2009, so everyone tries to overlook me once again, just because, I'm not cool, and I don't live in a city. John Kensel's not like that, by the way. But anyways, yeah, I've been doing it way longer. I hit my 200 episode 2 years ago.
Well, he should also know that. I mean,
no, he knows, but I guess he was just trying to.
Like, I guess he's trying to trump up that show
Yeah,
or something.
yeah, he was just trying to. He's a nice guy. I would never.
He knows other like comedians too that are more established in New York, and I mean some of them are in the high numbers and well over 200, and they've been doing it for way less time too. Because the first podcast I got into, Pete Holmes, You Made It Weird. And
I checked out his iTunes the other day. I had no clue that his podcast was that successful. I knew he had a podcast, but I had no clue.
And
I guess because it makes sense because of Crashing. I think that probably.
No, even before he was
Really?
over 300 before Crashing.
300 reviews.
Episodes.
I'm talking about reviews.
Oh,
he had
reviews.
like 5. I'm talking about 5,000 reviews.
He still had like well over 1 million downloads back before Crashing, because he was on a network. You gotta get on a network. He was on the Nerdist network.
Wasn't there a Pete Holmes show or CBS?
but he had the podcast before because it was. He did his regular stand-up. He was building up. He got into the podcasting stuff and did regular sets in L.A. And then he also did occasional writing for Conan, which that was his in to get the TBS Pete Holmes show, but didn't do great. I still think he's funny, and it's a certain type of format though. Like he does like stream of consciousness, unedited, long, like typically 3 hours.
Oh wow!
And he's so disarming because he's just like, I don't know, what's that? Like he's very innocent and clueless. And so the guest loves to just go on about it, and he's had people reveal stuff. He had Garfunkel and Oates, I forget, I think it's Garfunkel is the blonde girl, and she's the only one he ever had to edit years ago before the Louis C.K. thing came out, because she was so open with him and actually mentioned in the recording about Louis C.K. pulling his dick out on her. And she's like, oh my God, like, please take that out or I won't get booked on things. Like, people think I'm making this shit up. And it's like, okay. And she was really upset and he did it, but then after it was out and all these girls were like, oh yeah, Louis C.K. took his dick.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up because this is why I love Jimmy Norton, even if I like his comedy. So I think I told you this before. So Pete Holmes and Judd Apatow went on the Jim and Sam shows. Jim Norton and this other guy, Sam Roberts, who looks like a primate. And they were promoting the third season of Crashing, and Jim Norton got into it right away because like they were all over Twitter, like when that Louis C.K. tape got sent out, which wasn't supposed to, they were all over it. Like why is he making fun of the Judd Apatow's whole point was why are you making fun of the poor victims that got shot at that thing? And Pete Holmes' whole thing was, you're supposed to be. You could have addressed the whole Me Too thing right there. Why didn't you bring it up? At least address it. And Jim Norton was like, yeah, but you don't understand. The guy's trying something out. That wasn't supposed to be released. Yeah. He's like, don't act like we. He's like, he tried to make a point to Judd Apatow, like you shoot things like improv. How would you like if someone took something that you were improv and just put it out there and said blah blah blah? So Jim Norton went out there, but Pete Holmes did. I like him in Crashing, but he did come off like a cock during that whole thing.
Oh well, yeah, and I can see that too, like that.
Because Louis C.K. The whole point is he can't sit there and think, okay, what's Judd Apatow, Pete Holmes thinking? It's like.
But also even to like come out, like people came out for a night of comedy, and also there's plenty of people that don't follow the comedic world or watch entertainment news. I don't watch TMZ or whatever the hell other shows are out that still do that. But if you don't know, you just go and it's like, oh, it's a funny person, and then it's just like how I don't follow a lot of music. I don't look into the personal lives of a lot of musicians I like because I know they're usually assholes. Like Billy Corgan and the Smashing Pumpkins and Trent Reznor and Nine Inch Nails, like they're dickheads in real life, but I like their music, and then I feel kind of shitty when I find out, like they're an asshole. Like, do I have to stop liking this? Like I'm not allowed to eat Chick-fil-A anymore. Like this sucks. But so I get that side of it, and yeah, like it's not really the comic's job. And also when you admit it, like. I'm not saying it's right to lie about it, but when you admit it, that is like, the career is just dead then. Yeah. Because you look at Al Franken, who the senator, who like SNL dude and senator, who's like, I touched some girls, here's a picture of me being gross in front, and then it's just like, I'm resigning, and he's just fucking gone.
By the way, shout out to Joe Biden that's been groping up all the bitches.
Yeah. That's it, Kevin Spacey. Kevin Spacey's like, oh, I'm sorry about that, you're gone.
Did you see that thing he did about the, so he was on House of Cards, I never watched that show.
Yeah.
But he took his own money, and he did the character, and he addressed his own situation as the character.
I don't know.
Yeah, so you gotta check it out. Wow. Just type in Kevin Spacey creepy, and it'll come up on YouTube. He's like, you all done things before. He's like using that, but you can tell he's a really good actor.
Oh yeah.
He's a great actor.
And like that's the same thing.
But it came off like weird though. But I get his point though. But also, here's another problem I have with it. It would kind of kill the vibe if you just come out and go, hey everybody, just like I'm Louis C.K. and about 20 years ago I locked two girls in a closet and I jerked off on them. So if anybody wants to walk out and leave, go ahead. Yeah. So I was at the mall last week with my daughter, and then just start the show, and everyone's like, huh? It would kind of kill the vibe if you do that. People should know.
Yeah, it's like nobody came for the public service announcement. Granted, again, it's shitty stuff, and maybe he shouldn't get future work, but that's also on, like you would think the casting director or director of a movie or a show would do their research, just like, go into a job where they're just like, oh, this looks good, I just have to do a background check on you, and then they find out, oh, he's on Megan's Law. Like, it would be the same thing, where it would just be like, hey, I don't know what the fuss is about this Louis C.K. character. Yeah. Any producer or casting director is going to do their look, going to do their research and be like, maybe he's not the guy we want for the new Pirates of the Caribbean relaunch. I don't know, but
yeah. Well, one thing that Helium Comedy Club does is pretty cool, and I think all comedy clubs sites should do this. Is they say, well, you don't buy a ticket to a show. They put that thing where it says, make sure you research the comic, make sure you watch a YouTube clip, make sure you watch it, because then because then people did
new?
No, they've been doing this for a while now, because it was just like, I don't know if the comic that started this, but I remember years ago, Tracy Morgan was on 30 Rock.
I'm gonna get you pregnant.
Yeah, Tracy Morgan, if those, I mean, see, not everyone's a radio fan. If you're a radio fan, listen to Howard Stern and Opie and Anthony, you realize Tracy Morgan is very filthy. But they thought it was like, oh, the goofy black guy from 30 Rock. He probably does like cute little, and then they go out and he's doing a joke about like, oh, my mom, she had a retarded kid. Yeah, she would have beat his ass. And they're like, oh.
I think I did see that. Well, it's weird because maybe they are being selective about who they give that warning, because I saw Pete Holmes and then I saw Kyle Kinane at Helium, and it's like there's no warning. Like if there was a warning, it's somewhere tiny and not seen. Like warning: Kyle Kinane may be visibly intoxicated.
Well, it doesn't say. It doesn't give like the. I think like when you click on buy tickets,
okay.
It's somewhere there's a little disclaimer.
But because I mean I bought tickets to them and
Yeah.
seeing the like I did see a warning though for Paul Mooney that like is kind of a warning to people,
Yeah.
because he will call you out in the audience and make you uncomfortable.
Yeah. Well, Paul Mooney, weird thing about him is there's a good story about him. John Kensel told me, because John Kensel knows everything.
Yeah.
So Paul Mooney's one of these black comics. He likes to have a white guy open for him because some black comics do that, like
Yeah.
Ari Spears from Mad TV, because they don't want to hit on the same subjects. You know, because sometimes black comics have the same take. So there's this really funny comedian who used to host open mic here. He's really tall. He's like 6'5". He's Roger Weaver. He's a top of it. He's a genius to me. So he's like, yeah, try to get me like a white comic. It doesn't be nerdy or anything. And then they introduced him to Roger, like this really pale, tall, old guy, and he's like, perfect. He just didn't even hear his material, just like, perfect, yeah, that would work. So it's like, and great for Roger Weaver, he's forgetting the, but yeah, so it's like that whole thing. And then Jim Norton, he usually, I don't get him because he wants a female to open for him, so I guess he likes to, Jim Norton likes to put on someone shittier than him. He likes to put on someone that has no talent, and they go up there and go, wow, Jim's pretty funny.
It was funny because I saw Patton Oswalt at Parks Casino last summer, and he had a local woman open for him, Michelle Balloon.
Oh, okay.
She was, I kind of heard like some shitty things about, like from Philly, kind of like, like she just talks about her vagina and periods and stuff. But no, she was, I mean, now granted, she did do the gross out humor. Like I know she had a big joke about shitting in the woods, and that like her husband supported her for that. Like that's why her husband is her husband, because he was like totally okay with her shitting herself in the woods. But it was fine. She had like a good delivery of it. Like I actually remembered her name and some of her set from her opening for him. But it also seemed like he put, just like Paul Mooney will put up a white guy, so the white guys in the audience will be like, it's like, okay, I'm just making sure this is all fair. You know, you're coming down on me a lot, and I have nothing to do with any of the things you're talking about. Patton Oswalt, I would think, it's not just for equality, like that he would have a female comedian open for him, but for like to kind of diffuse the idea of like, it's like, hey, didn't your like wife suspiciously die of an overdose after writing a crime story, and then you immediately remarried like 4 months later?
Well, I heard some things about Patton Oswalt. So Patton Oswalt is one of these guys. He's very anti-Trump. So he has like 3 million followers on Instagram, on Twitter. So but he was saying shit about like white guy when they had that thing. Something happened like at an award show. There's like all the black people winning, and he says like, yeah, that's good. We need more black people winning. So this one comic, his name's Chad Zumoff. He's not famous. He's just like a working comic. He like said something like, well, that's really shitty. What are you trying to do? Like to take away opportunities, like as a straight white guy, you can't. And then like one of his friends at Chad Zumoff got really cruel. He was like, he tagged Patton Oswalt's new wife and said, I hope he doesn't kill you when you're sleeping, because his last wife died when she was sleeping. So they made it like extra personal.
Yeah.
And then the radio host was like, yeah, but why would you get that? Why would your friend get that personal? Like he was just saying, I think it's good. So that's something funny. And also I saw The Comedians of Comedy with Patton Oswalt. I actually like that movie. It's about him and Zach Galifianakis way before they were fit. Zach was famous. And Maria and Brian Posehn. It's a really funny documentary.
I liked it except for the Zach Galifianakis, because this was only when, I think it was still like right before or after the Hangover.
Yeah, it was a few years before that.
And but it was just like you could see he's such like an alt comic that looks like he's doing some Andy Kaufman, that he's playing a piano.
Yeah, I like this Comedy Central special. I thought it was funny. We brought those chicks at the end, and they play that. Have you seen this Comedy Central special?
No.
He brings out 20 white girls wearing tights, and he plays that song "Am I Only Dreaming?" And then he's like holding up signs. It's kind of like you could say all comedy, but I don't know. I think it's funny. I was going to bring something else up about comedy. Oh yeah, something about openers. Oh yeah, so one of the douchiest things I heard before we move on to something else is, you might have heard about this. Don't know the guy's name. Thank God I don't know his name. But this is real good. This is related to Louis C.K. This guy, he had to make it public. So I guess a comedy club asked him to open for Louis C.K. He had to make it public, like, I would never open for him. As a matter of fact, I'm not even going to work at this comedy club anymore. So he had to make it public. And then the chick, God, Bill Miller always talks about her. The chick that went after Louis C.K., she's really unfunny. She has like a 3-letter name. The one that got breast cancer. She did a whole special with her shirt off.
Oh,
Tig, yes, thank you. Tig Notaro. She gave the guy a gig. She was like, hey, why don't you open for me? I like what you did, because, you know, she's the one that called out Louis C.K. But it was just really douchey because he had to make it public. Like, no, like someone offers you a gig and say you just turn it down, like, hey, no, I'm taking a stand. I'm not, matter of fact, not only am I working for Louis C.K., he just said no, because I'm not working for your club because you support closet rapists or something.
Yeah, like a total boycott.
And I guarantee he killed probably because the audience was like, this guy.
Okay, everybody's becoming super polarized, and I'm not on the super conservative, whatever, mgtow.
Well, one day, I can only hope.
Give me a few more years of single life.
You gotta know you need to get married, and then like your ex-wife like takes all your animals and like kills them or something, and then you're just like in a broken place like that. You're like, now I get it, Josh. Let me go. Then I can just leave the stage and let you just ran away.
I hope it doesn't come to that. Kill my pets.
And you just walk down, just got like a little turtle in a blender, and you're like, no!
That's what they do. They don't want you to think that. But
oh. Well, anyway, so you just did this show, Drunken and Gaming. It's a new show, and that's not the YouTube channel, by the way, but it's Dancin Thunder. It's like about 4 or 5 comics we know from this room. They play video games and do 1-minute reviews, and also they have this thing called Drunken and Gaming. Even though one comic doesn't drink, which I think is, I think it's kind of lame.
I think less comics are drinking each time too, though, because they realize
they cut back on the drinking because, well, Bill Miller's gotten sick on there twice. I think he does it on purpose. He purposely doesn't eat so he can puke, and then he
ate before the third one, and me and him were totally, we had to double check on our host to make sure he wasn't, falling asleep in his vomit or whatever before we left. But yeah, it's not a good time. Like the idea of you're gonna be funnier when you're drunk and stuff.
Well, I'm not sure what the purpose of that. I'm not sure if they have an exact reason to do it. It's just.
Well, I think he's trying to get the best of like YouTube Let's Play, like gamer videos, along with Comedy Central, Derek Waters' Drunken History, which that's funny for a different reason, because it's like, here's somebody trying to sound smart and intellectual about this great historic moment, but they're totally shit-faced, and just they're slurring and hiccuping the whole time. They get their facts mixed up wrong. So Drunk Histories, I think, especially the early videos, are super funny. And then even what they do on Comedy Central now is like, okay, even though it's more overproduced. But Drunken Gaming...
Well, how was your appearance? You were talking about it.
I think I just...
what was that? Can you reveal the substance of alcohol is?
Tequila, yeah.
Tequila.
It was, trying to come up with clever names for the combos, like Mortal Vodka Combat, because the K in vodka is like combat in Mortal Kombat. A game no one has heard of called Baku Baku. We did Baku Baku Bacardi and Coke.
Yeah.
But this is just...
NBA Jameson?
Yeah. That was kind of... I like that title thing there. And
you like Jameson?
But Bill was pretty funny in that. I wasn't in that one.
I know, but you like Jameson.
Oh, yeah. But,
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I like the Jameson.
But we did Tetris N Tequila. Like, there's no... If you want to play on the sounds, you would probably just do the the beer Tecate, the Mexican beer, and just Tetris and Tecate instead, like Tetris and Tequila. I don't know, or you can do 3. But
how drunk did you get? Did you get very drunk?
No,
or?
I did like 2 shots, and like which is, but our host and the other guy Rob got pretty bad. Rob's funny though, and he's always seems like he's kind of buzzed or whatever. I just hope he edited it well, because the best part was the music of this game, because it was a Tetris that came out while the original Russian guy who created Tetris was getting his rights back to it, but Nintendo was illegally like distributing Tetris copies without having the full rights. So while the rights were in limbo, Japan came out with a Tetris called Tetris S. Tetris S, so it's just Tetris with 2 S's, and it's basically Tetris, but in the middle there's like a little dancing monkey, and if you get 5 combos on one side, the monkey throws a banana on the other side and screws up 5 blocks for the other player. And I wasn't expecting this, so I don't tend to play multiplayer games because I'm a sore loser and I suck at multiplayer. So I'm like cursing the whole time, and I didn't feel like it was fun drunk, like, I'm just like, yo.
And then you say you yell out, "You fucking monkey," and you're afraid that they're going to edit that and make you sound like
yes, because I'm talking about
an actual monkey.
Real cartoon monkey in there, but then they're joking. If they don't, he shoots both the video game screen and you reacting, but if he doesn't, he could edit it and then boom, my life in comedy and politics and watching babies, it's over.
Even though he's doing this show, which already has a negative connotation to it, it's over, guys. It's over. Now it's over. Now it's the final element.
Drunken gaming
and
with its negative viewership.
Yeah.
It's gonna bring me down.
By the way, I'm thinking about doing an episode of Getting High with Doug, but I'm not gonna smoke weed.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't smoke weed. I'm just gonna sit here and not smoke. That's what Derek does. I'm just gonna drink coffee while you guys get drunk.
Getting high with Judd.
Well, listen, we just wanted to do a short one tonight. Bill Miller, he does add a lot to the show. He comes up with bits and he rolls around on stage, pulls his ball skin out, which is fun for a live stream where luckily nobody reported it.
It turns out it was gum.
It was sticky gum, thank God. But no, I was actually going to edit that out because I was like, not like so. YouTube has their shitty editor and it takes so fucking long. So I clicked on edit, and then you can trim. I mean, you can put blurry face thing. So I wanted to put like a blur around this thing, right? But you have to wait for the video to process. It's already a 2-hour episode. So I was like, how long is this going to take? So I was like, oh, forget it. So it's up there. Listen, things happen when you go live. You go live. But speaking of Bill, I'll probably be at his open mic tomorrow night. It's not a plug because no one's gonna. The time you hear this, I mean, I'll put it up. This is going to be uploaded tonight, but no one's going to come out. But last 2 haven't been good. To be honest with you, it's been like a lack of audience, even less comedians. You don't need a lot of comedians, but I really hope that this one's good because I plan that this place is going to close down 3 more open mics for this room, and I plan to make Bill those up like my main summer open mic, and it's not looking good. It's like they already know, like, oh, they walk down, they're like, even though the guy's like seems like friends with Bill, like, hey, yeah. He's guy goes upstairs and goes, hey, how's it going down there?
You gotta get a car again. Go to Delaware and Jersey.
Yeah, I would like to do Fenris's open mic. Also, this other one in Melbourne, PA. This young kid runs who comes here. I heard that's really good. And then also there's a open mic on Columbus Boulevard. They don't do it a lot. It's called Boat Comedy. It's right near Riverdeck, the douchey Riverdeck. They do it on a yacht. So I would like to do comedy there. So yeah, there's definitely different rooms to go to. I can actually do many rooms without going to the city. But yeah, sometimes you need wheels, but we'll see how that goes. But anyways, this has been just a kind of like a short one, even though we probably did like 30, 45 minutes. And either next week or probably the week after, I'm gonna try to do at least 1 or 2 more of these. Maybe get Bill, maybe get somebody else. Yeah, and as far as live goes, let's someone donates $150.
Patreon, Indiegogo, GoFundMe,
PayPal, Streamlabs. If you guys want to donate $5 each, now I can ask for money.
Salvation Army.
What you need to do is get a job and stop hanging out in your parents' basement,
Yeah.
and maybe you can get your live stream together, buddy. Go mgtow, bros. Even though I've been kicked out. Not kicked out, I was never welcome in the mgtow. Someday. Well, anyways, thanks to Willie Fritz for doing the show. Good luck with your new job. And me, I don't have a job, but this is my job. You know, I get paid. I create content. I give back to the people. A small number of sick people who enjoyed this. This is JoshCast. Thanks for watching. We'll see you.